Okay, so good evening and welcome to day 2 of this HTML and CSS essentials. Yesterday we did quite a lot of things, right? Yesterday we understood what exactly is HTML. Then we talked about the basic tags. We understood what exactly is the HTML's role in creating a web page. And we also understood CSS role in creating a web page. Now today we'll go a little more deeper in HTML. We'll talk about how to create forms. And after that, once we finish forms, then we will move ahead to CSS introduction, where I'll be teaching you what exactly is CSS, how to start with it, how to connect it to HTML, and how to start styling your elements. And today, we will also talk about container elements. So guys, we have a lot of things to do today. So I really hope that you all are excited. Please let me know that in the chat. Are you excited for today's session, guys? Can you please confirm that quickly? Good. Okay guys, so let's start everyone. So yesterday we saw a few things like heading tags, p tag, pre tag. We basically talked about all the textual tags, text-based tags that will help you to do some kind of, things on text. Then we saw how to create a link using your a tag. And then we also saw how to put an image on the web page. So guys, let's go ahead. Let's go. And first of all, the thing is I need to download few things because if I want to show you how to put image and all that stuff, I want to download it. Now, if needed, we can also go ahead and directly use a link, but I'm planning to download it. So let's quickly go ahead and let's download a simple icon like, let's say Avengers icon, any icon that you want to put. So first of all, let me show you how to put an icon. So let's say we download this icon. This looks nice. Okay, but it's quite big, but I think that will be fine. So let's just, download this image quickly. Okay, I want to store it in documents. Okay, let's put it in documents first. Save it there. Open it. Okay, cool. Guys, I'm downloading an image and now it should be in documents. Here we go. Now I'm moving this whole thing in my folder. Okay, in my HTML CSS folder. So now if you'll see, here we go. We have that image available in our folder. Okay, simple. You can download it from anywhere. Now, guys, we have this. You can see we have this image in our folder. So up to you. Download it from anywhere or you can use any image. Completely up to you. But now I'm showing you guys how to put image on the top like this. You can see right here we have Google. Here we have this N icon. Here we have this Jamboard icon. So how to put our own icon. And also, guys, let's quickly run this page. So let's copy the path. Let's go on any browser. And just, put it there. And here we go. It's up and running. Now, we also want to change our icon here. Okay. So let's go and let's do it. First of all, I'm going to rename this image because it's quite big. The name is quite big. So let's rename it to, let's say we call it as tab icon, something like that. Tab hyphen icon. Okay. Now, guys, please focus. How to put that icon on your tab. Let's go. For that, guys, come inside the head area. After the title or before the title doesn't matter, but normally I prefer after the title. You have to use a tag called as link tag. Okay. And see, by default in the relation, it will come as style sheet. You have to go ahead and change it to icon. Okay. Relation is icon. And the href now you have to pass the path of the image. So I'll put dot slash. Dot slash means, guys, in the current folder only. In the current folder, I want to use this tab icon img. That's all. Save it. So guys, see, this dot slash means in the current folder where my HTML file is. Okay. In the same place, I also have the image. That's why dot slash. In the same folder, I have this image. This image I want to be my icon. So guys, link tag relation should be icon and href should be this. And now if you save it and go on your web page and refresh it now, see that, guys? I hope you guys can see it now. Here's an Avenger icon. Hopefully, everyone. You can see that, right? So guys, that's how simple it is to put an icon on your tab area. I hope it was simple and I hope you guys now know it, right? How to put it. Everyone, good enough? Now can we move ahead? As promised, I showed you how to put that. Very easy, very simple. You can use any image, up to you. But mostly try to use a proper square image. That will look much more better there. Okay. Right now I've just used any random image, but you guys should use a proper image there. A good square image. It will look much more better. Okay. So guys, download any image, up to you. Download any image, put it in your folder. And then after that, use a link tag in which you have to pass relation icon. Okay. And then in href, you have to pass the image path. That's all, guys. Okay. So it's very easy. Link tag relation should be icon. Okay. And in the href, pass the path of the image. Now then, guys, let's move on to the next topic, and actually one important, okay, relation rule. Let me tell you. See, this link tag, okay, let me tell you more about it. See, guys, this link tag is basically used to link any external stuff with your HTML page. This link tag is used to link any external stuff with your web page. So in future, you're going to be linking CSS files. You're going to be linking a lot of things with your HTML page. Right now, I'm saying that I am planning to link to an icon. I want this image to be my icon. That's why in the link tag, I mentioned that the relation between the image and my web page is that the image is going to be my icon. If you don't mention icon here, the HTML file won't be able to understand that I have to treat that image as icon. See, if I go ahead and, if I put something like, some other relation here, like let's say style sheet. Now, if I save it and check, now it is coming from the cache, so I have to clear it as well. So let's see if it is working. Normally it should not work, but I think it's coming from the cache, so I have to delete the cache as well. But guys, see, I have to now delete the cache, so don't worry, I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to use that much time. But technically, guys, see, now if I mention style sheet here, that means the file that I'm planning to link with will be basically what? My style sheet. In future, I'm going to be using it. So that's why it's very important to mention icon here. Only if you mention icon here, that's how the HTML file will understand that I want to use this image as the tab icon. Okay. Now, in my case, when I'm refreshing, it's not going away because now it's coming from cache. So I have to delete my cache, browser's cache, then only it will go away. Okay. So I hope you're understanding that, guys, everyone. Okay, cool. Simple. So link tag is going to be used to link various different things with my HTML file. Right now, we're only linking a tab icon. That's all. Okay. Now then, let's move ahead, guys, to the next topic. And for that, I'm going to create a new file today. So let me call this as day2.html. Okay, a new file. Okay, cool. Let's move ahead now. So guys, I first of all hope it's cleared, everyone. Okay, all good. So now, guys, the next topic that we are learning today, first of all, let's generate the basic HTML just like that yesterday. And let me also remove this extra meta tag. Right now, we don't need it. Okay, remove that. And guys, today, the next topic that we are learning is something called as forms, which is a very, very important topic in HTML. Now, see, guys, when you go on sites like Facebook, Twitter, or anywhere, you can see everywhere there is a form. And by using that form, those websites collect your data. For example, if you want to register on your website, if you want to register on any website, you have to fill a form. If you want to log into any website, you have to fill a form. If you want to post something on Instagram, you fill a form by writing caption, uploading image. So that means the only way that a user actually gives some data to the web page or to the website is by using forms. That means without forms, it won't be possible for a normal user to give data to the website. So guys, by using forms, those website people or the website is easily able to take a user's data. So in future, if you're also creating a website and you also want the user to register on your website or log in on your website, or you just want them to fill a contact form so that you can get their contact details, for all that stuff, guys, you need to create forms on your web page. And right now, we're going to be seeing how to create forms on your web page. Is that clear, guys, everyone? Hopefully. So understood the importance, right? No matter on which site you go, guys, no matter on which site. For example, if I just go to facebook.com, you'll see this here is a form, this one, 2 fields, and you have to fill them to log in. If you go and create new account, this here is also a form where you are going to fill all your data. So it's Facebook way of taking your data to their site so that they can understand you. So it's a form. So guys, let's see how to create forms on your own web page. And guys, it's very easy. So first of all, let's run this web page, day2.html, because now we're working in this. Okay, and let's change the path here. because now we're running a new web page and it's right now completely clear. So now let's move ahead, everyone. Let's move ahead. Okay. So guys, now see, form is technically a collection of input fields. Okay. Because see guys, if I say that this is a form, this whole thing is nothing but a collection of input field. Guys, this single thing where you can write your name is called as an input field, or where you can write your surname or mobile number, whatever you can write. This single area where you put your data is called as an input field. Why input field? Because it accepts your data. And when you create multiple input fields like this, then that is what you call as a form. That means technically form is nothing but collection of input fields which are working together for some kind of data. That's all. So form is nothing but a collection of input fields. That means when we are creating form, what we have to actually learn is how to create input fields and how to keep them together. That's the important point here. So guys, when we are learning how to create forms, we are going to be learning actually how to create different kinds of input fields. Now, when I say different kind of input field, what do I mean in that case? Now you might have seen, right? Some input fields only take email IDs. Some input fields only take name. Some input fields only take passwords. Some input field only take dates. So that means different input fields have a way of taking their own data. They don't accept any other thing. For example, an email field cannot accept phone number. A phone number field cannot accept an email. So how to create all these input fields which accept a particular kind of data, and finally, how to create a form. So guys, I hope you're ready. Let's go ahead and let's start. Now guys, the first tag that you need if you're planning to create a form is a form tag. Okay. And right now guys, you don't need this action attribute. So let me remove it for now. Okay. Because we're only focusing on designing right now. Now guys, see, this form tag doesn't have any output. If you see the output, you don't have any output for this. You can see it's still blank. As I said, input field is the important thing. But guys, the meaning of this form tag, opening and closing, is keeping your all input fields together. The job of this form tag is to keep your all input fields together and let the browser know that all these input fields which are going to be creating inside this form tag are representing the same thing, are a part of a single form. That's why you need this form tag. Is that clear everyone? सर ये डेटा किसके पास है प्लीज? कौन सा डेटा? ये डेटा कौन सा वाला डेटा? क्वींस जो फॉर्म का डेटा है उसकी बात कर रहे हो आप, किसके पास जाएगा? वो तो हम डिसाइड कर सकते हैं, जब हम कोड लिखेंगे तो हम डिसाइड कर सकते हैं कि वो डेटा कहां भेजना है हमें. ओके, सो नाउ गाइस लेट्स गो अहेड. So the job of the form tag here is to keep all your input field together so that it can act as a single form. So let's go now guys. Now guys, you tell me, will only this much will be enough for all the people who know that input tag is there? Will this much be enough to create an input field? Tell me guys, will this much be enough to create an input field? Everyone? Now it is a question that I'm asking because a lot of times people get this kind of trick in interviews. They ask it something like this. So you tell me, will this much be enough to create an input field? Yes or no? Don't try. Just give me answer here. Don't try anything guys. Don't go on internet. Okay. Just answer it quickly. Come on. Will this much be enough? Or that type text is mandatory? I have to put it. Yes. So guys, see, if I go ahead and if I, refresh, you will see I actually have an input field here. See that everyone? So that means it's completely fine. It's not mandatory because guys, when you don't give that type, by default also type is text. That's why guys, you can see it's getting created and it can accept any text. So guys, that means even if you give type text or you don't give type text, by default type text is there always. But technically you should always give it. Okay. And guys, yes, input also doesn't require any ending tag because it's also a self-closing tag because it doesn't work with any kind of content. It only works with attributes, just like image tag. That's why you don't have any separate closing for it. So no need to close it. This much is enough. Is that clear, guys? So what I'm trying to say is, even if you don't mention text, by default, the type is text only. Okay. So, but I'll mention it. Now, guys, what do we mean by input type text? So in this case, input type text means, this type text means that this input can take any kind of text. Now, when I say text, guys, text means anything. It can be a number. It can be any symbol. It can be any normal alphabets. So text means anything, guys. Okay. So input type text means it's a general field which can take any kind of data. But now here, if you see, like if I create a form like this, if I create a form like this, so there's a problem with this, right? There's a problem with this. And the problem is, if the user comes up and sees my form, he will see a blank field and he doesn't know what to fill, right? Because if I just give you this form and I just tell you to fill it, you will also ask me, right, sir, what should I fill here? So it's very important to tell the user what to fill here. Now for that, guys, you can do anything. You can, just go before this input field and write a normal text like, let's say enter name, save it. And here we go, enter name. But guys, putting this kind of label before your input field, now it's a very old technique because there are two problems with this. Actually, not two problems. There is only one main problem. That is, it takes extra space. It takes extra space that I can use for some other things in my websites, right? So that's a problem. So there is also a really good approach of avoiding this, but still giving label. That is, instead of giving a separate label, what you can do is in the input tag only, there is an attribute called as placeholder. There only you can put like this, enter name. Okay, something like this. And now if you go ahead and see, now that enter name is inside the input field. And guys, that's not a text. You can see I cannot select it. So that's not a text. That's just a watermark. Think of it like a watermark. That's what a placeholder is, guys. Placeholder means until you put your real text, until you start writing your real data, I'll be there. That's why it's called as a placeholder, guys. I'll be holding the place until your real text arrives. So guys, this is the real data because I can select it. But normally this is just a watermark, a placeholder. That is all, guys. So that's how you can give a simple placeholder. Okay. I hope you have understood, guys. So this is a normal text field which can accept any kind of data. Okay. Type text. But now, guys, we can create many more inputs which only accept some specific data. Like some input fields which will only take email, some input fields which will only take, phone number, some input place which will only take, password type data. We also use value, no value. See, guys, I have also seen some people using value instead of placeholder. Remember, guys, if you use value, like for example, if I use value, enter name, something like that. Okay. This is not a good thing. You know why? Because value means real value. See, now that is a real text. I can select it. So if I want to write my data, I have to cut this first and then only I can write my data. So there are chances people can make mistakes. Is that clear, everyone? So don't ever give value. Value means real value. That means whatever you put in value, it will fill your text field with data. Value means the data of the text field. That's why you should never use value. Use placeholder. Placeholder is just a watermark. Value means real value. So that is considered as the data. So you have to cut it. Is that clear, guys? So don't use value, everyone. Don't use value. Use value only if you want to put some by default value in your input field. Okay. Then only use value. You might have seen, right, in your banking applications, in your banking forms, you might have seen that a lot of times some input fields are by default filled with some values. Okay, like your credit card number or something like that. There people use value. If you only want to fill your input field by default. But in this case, I'm going to go with placeholder. Okay, and EN means that the language that I'm using for my web page is English. That is, guys, that's all. That's how simple it is. Okay, cool. Don't worry about that too much. It's just for SEO so that the browsers really understand. That's it, guys. EN means English. It's a code for English. Okay. Now, guys, we have many different kind of input fields that we can create. But before that, I would like to show you a very important thing so that we can also work with validations. Okay. So, guys, I want to show you how to create buttons as well. Because when you create a form like this, you also have a button, right? Sign up. Or here you can see you have create new account. Here you have a button login. So that means when you have a form, you also have buttons that help you to submit or do whatever you want with that form. So before moving ahead and doing anything else, let's see how to create buttons. So guys, now you can see there's a button, but now I also want this button to be next line. So guys, for that we can use CSS, but for now, just to break the line, we'll use a BR tag. Yesterday we learned about this, right? To break a line, we'll use a BR tag. So this BR tag will make sure that the button goes in the next line. So now if I refresh, you can see it's in the next line. But actually I also want some gap here. So I can use 2 BRs. Now see, guys, right now we can actually adjust it in a very good way using CSS. But for now, let's just use BR tag just for some demo purposes. Okay, guys, everyone. Okay, nice. Now, see guys, this is only one button, but in reality, there are 3 types of buttons. Now see this button that I've created inside this form. If I just go ahead and fill my field, and let's say I click my button, see, it's refreshing my page. Why it's refreshing? Because guys, by default, a button is a submit button. So when I say submit button, that means a button which is created inside a form, by default, it's a submit button, and its main job is to submit a form. So it will always go ahead and submit a form. So guys, by default, when you create a button, it's by default a submit button. That means it is used to submit a form. That's why you can see when I fill my form and when I click on register, it refreshes my page. Okay, so it's trying to submit this. Right now, it doesn't know where to submit or where to send this data. It's dummy, but it's submitting. Is that clear, everyone? So right now it's submitting. So, and it's by default submit, but if you want, you can also mention button type submit. So guys, this kind of button is always used to submit a form. So create it very carefully. Now, you also have one more kind of button. Okay. Let's say we write reset on it. Okay. Or, clear form. Let's say we write clear form on it. Clear form. Now, if you go ahead and write type reset. Now, this kind of button is mainly used to clear the form. So let's say you write some wrong data and let's say you fill the whole form. Okay. So you can simply click on clear form and that will clear out all the input fields. Now see guys, you might think that both are working same, but no. When I click on register, it refreshes the page. See guys, when I click on register, it refreshes my web page. So it's trying to submit. Okay. And when you write some data and you just want to clear that form, you click on clear form. It will not refresh, not submit your form. It will just clear out the whole fields. So sometimes guys, you have 10, 20 input fields and let's say you by mistakenly fill some wrong data in all of them. So you have a clear form button by which you can simply clear the form. Okay. It's not going to submit. It's simply going to clear the form. That's all guys. Okay. Okay. So guys, let's go. And now guys, you also have a third type of button, which is kind of useless if you talk about forms, which you call as button type button. Now see, this is a useless button. Okay. Now see guys, this is a button type button, which by default does nothing. So it is only for custom things. For example, in future, you want to call a function or you want to scroll something. So based on a button, you want to do something. In that case, you can use a button on which you can define your custom task. So in this case, guys, it's going to be useless. Inside a form, a button type button is useless because no matter what I write and what I do, nothing's going to happen. So submit button is used to submit a form. Clear form or reset button is used to clear the whole form. And button type button does nothing by default. It can be used when you want to do some custom thing on a button. You want to create a button, but on that button click, you want to, let's say, scroll the page, move something on the right, move something on the left. You want to do your custom thing. In that case, you can use a button type button. Okay, everyone. So now then, let's move ahead and let's go with some other input fields. And then guys, I'll also teach you how to actually create, proper validations and all that stuff. Okay. So guys, ready everyone? Are we cleared with the basic idea of input and buttons? Can we see all the different kinds of input now? Everyone. Okay. Now, one more thing, guys. Now, initially, now see, long time back when we, had normal forms, at that time, if I don't fill my form, if I don't fill my field and click on submit button, so it never used to give error. So to show error to user that, I want to display some kind of message or I want to give some error, for that we had to use JavaScript. We had to write code. Okay. But guys, nowadays after HTML5, you don't have to do that. Now it's very simple. You can simply go in your input field and use one property or attribute called as required. And guys, that required doesn't need any kind of value. Just put required. That's all. And now if you save it, and now see, if I don't fill my field and click on submit button, it gives me error. Please fill in this field. Previously, guys, 5-6 years back, we had to code this stuff. We had to use JavaScript to code to show this kind of message. Please fill in this field. But now we don't have to. We just have to use a required. Okay. Cool, guys. So that's how you can simply do it. No need of any extra JavaScript code, no need of anything, just simple required attribute and you're getting your message very clearly. So guys, that's how good it is. That's how good this new HTML5 is. Okay. Now then let's move ahead to the next field, everyone. And after this also, I want to put BR so that I can get the next input field, after some lines. So here we go, next input field. So guys, now the next input field that I want to show you is enter email. And in that also, I'm going to be putting required. Okay. Now guys, if you want this input field to act as an email field, you have to go here and you have to use email, input type email. Now, if you just go ahead, see enter email. Now the best part, first of all, let's fill name. So let me just put Saurabh there. Now, first of all, see guys, okay. If I click on register, see, I get the error. Please fill in this field. Why is that happening? Because I have put required. Now, if I go ahead, okay. Now then guys, let's move ahead. Now here, see, if let's say I try to put an email, like let's say I put like, LU Gmail, something like that. Now if I click here, see, I get an error. Please include an @ in the email address. That means now I'm getting an error for email that I should put @. And that's happening guys, because I have type of email. So now if I put any content and click on submit, I can see I'm getting an error. So for this now guys, I have to properly go and let's say I have to do Saurabh @gmail.com. Then only it will be a proper email. So until and unless you put a proper email, it will never work. Okay, so that's what input type email does, guys. Is that clear, everyone? And just like that, guys, you have many type of fields. For example, if you're planning to put a password, so let me again put 2 BRs so that I can have that in the next line. So for that, guys, you can have an input type password. And let's say we also put a placeholder like enter password. Now, if you see here, if I type in this, see, it's coming like a password. That's what input type password does, guys. Is that clear, everyone? So I hope it's clear, everyone. So see, it's an input type password now. Okay. Now, for example, let's say you want to limit the user in writing the number of characters. That character should be only 2 or 8 or 7. For that, guys, in your normal text fields or in your passwords fields, you can use an attribute called as max length. So if you put max length, and let's say if I put max length of 8, now see what will happen here. If I go ahead and if I start typing, I cannot type beyond 8. See that, everyone? I cannot type. Even if I'm trying, I cannot type beyond 8. And just like that, guys, you can also have a min length property in which I can pass, let's say 5. That means minimum it should be 5. So now if I type, let's say only 2, and guys, I also have to fill this because, I have put required. So guys, should I do one thing so that I don't get the error messages again and again? Should I just go ahead and remove the required for once, everyone? So that I don't get that error messages. What say, guys, everyone? I'm removing the required from the top fields so that I don't get the error messages, so that we can be a little fast. Okay, guys, everyone. So now let's go ahead. I'll not get the message from this, so we can keep them empty. Now let me show you the password one. So first of all, when I click here, see, I get the required message. Please fill in this field. Now, if I only type 2 things, see, I get an error. Please lengthen this text to 5 characters or more. You're currently using 2 characters. Why it's coming, guys? Because I have given min length of 5. Okay. So guys, that's how you can stop the length. That's how you can, give a limit to the length. Only 8. Minimum 5, maximum 8. Okay. That's how you do it. So simple, min length and max length. And one more thing, guys, this DOB fields can't have placeholders like your normal input fields because they already have this placeholder thing. Okay. This is their by default placeholder. So if you want, you can give them a separate label, or you can use JavaScript to initially give them some placeholder. And after some time, you can remove that and show this text. Right now, I'm not doing that, but guys, normally you can use a label, or you can use JavaScript to give them placeholders as well. Okay. Don't worry, guys. Let's go. Let me put one more BR here and one more. And let me show you how to create a radio button. Okay. How to create a radio button. Now, when I say radio button, guys, you might have seen, right, that male, female option. Okay, so that can be created by using input type radio. Okay, so let me just write some dummy thing here. For example, let's say gender. Okay, a simple label. Now if I go here, you will see, here we go. You can see this radio button, right, everyone? Now you can create multiple like this, male, female, so it will look a little better. So you can just do this. You can, let's say, mention male here, and you can create one more radio button. Now guys, please understand, I'm not going to submit this form anywhere. In future, we might submit it when we learn backend as well. Right now, we're not submitting anything. So you can see here, now we have this male, female button. Okay, simple radio button. Okay, so that's how you create that circle check by using input type radio. Okay, those are called as radio buttons. Now, you might have also seen, right, where you have multiple options of, I accept this agreement or something like that. You might have seen those checkboxes, right, everyone? So for that also, guys, you have, for example, let's say I want to write something like this. I agree to, I agree to the, whatever you want, conditions, something like that. So for that, guys, you can use something called as input type check box. Okay, that's how simple it is. And now if you see, guys, here we go, input type checkbox. See that, guys, everyone? Okay. And guys, if you ever want to make your radio button or your checkbox by default filled, for that, you can use a property called as checked. You can use a property called as checked. If you just put checked, it will be by default checked. Okay, so that's how you can make it by default check. See that, everyone? So you can use checked. It's like that. That's how simple it is. Okay, guys, are you guys understanding the basic idea of this form, everyone? Okay. Now, let me show you how to create that big field. You might have seen, right, guys? A lot of times you have this big field where you can, put address or, some feedback message. So how do they create those big fields? So for that, guys, how to select only one? Now see, guys, normally that was not the plan, but I will show you how to select only one. So what you can do is you can give both of the input fields exact same name. So you can use a name attribute and give both of them the same name. So let's say name gender and also name gender. Now, according to form logic, only one input field can have a unique name. So I'm giving both of them name of gender. So according to form now, only one of them should be selected because only one name is possible. Two form fields cannot have same name. So if I give them same names, my form will never allow both of them to be submitted. And that's why only one of them will be selected. See that, everyone? So if I select female, male gets unchecked. Okay. So guys, the technique is, now this is one of the techniques. I'm not saying this is the, the one and only technique, but this is one of the techniques. Is that clear, guys? Yes, just give them common name, same name, because forms don't allow two input fields to have same name. So just like that. Okay. Now, guys, let me show you how do they create those big fields, right? Where you can put address or something like that. So for that, guys, you have a tag called as text area. Okay, you have a tag called as text area. Now, by default, all these options are coming. I'm not going to use that as of now. And now, see, if you just see this, and also you can give it a placeholder. So, placeholder, let's say address. And now if you see, here we go. See that, guys? You have a big input field for address. Now, how to give this input field height and width properly? For that, guys, we use this cols and rows. Here, cols means the number of characters you can write in one line. And rows means the number of lines you can write. So if I give rows 5, that means now you can only enter 5 lines in your whole text box. That's why the height will become smaller. See now, 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line, and 5 line. See, guys, that it doesn't mean that you cannot go beyond 5 lines, but only 5 lines will be visible at one time. That is why 5, what we say, 5 rows. Okay. And 30 cols means the number of characters that I'm putting in one line is 30, almost. Is that clear, guys? So if you want to increase its height and width, you can just give more cols and more rows. That's all. That's how you simply create a text area. Is that clear, guys? Now, let me also show you how to create that selection box. Okay. Now guys, if you ever want to create that selection box, or technically called as drop down, how to create that? Very easy guys. Now, but one thing is, for that, you never use an input tag. Why not input tag? Because guys, you never put any input in that. You never write anything in that. You simply select out of some options. That's why it's not created using input tag. For that, we use a select tag. Okay. And guys, inside this select, you can go ahead, and inside this, you have to put options of whatever you want. So right now I'm not using value here, but now here I can put like, let's say, anything like, let's say Mumbai. Then let's say I want to put few more options. So I can go for, let's say, Pune. Then I can go for some more options. Like, let's say, I don't know, Hyderabad, something like that. Now, if I see here, you'll have a simple drop down area where you can select a city. See that, guys? Everyone? That's how simple it is to create a drop down. But you can see by default, I don't see a placeholder. It's because, guys, you don't have a placeholder in select. So if you just want to show something like select city, like a placeholder on top, what you can do is you can simply go ahead and give a first option as select city. That's all. And if you give this, you'll see now you have a select city. And when you click on that, you have options of Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, like that. So guys, it's just a technique. Okay. It's just a technique that by default, you can simply put first option as select city. Is that clear, everyone? Or you can give a label separately. Why not? You can give a label on the top here. You can give a label like select city. That's also fine. Why not? You can give a simple label like this. Or to create this label, you can also use a label tag. That's also fine. You can also use a label tag here. So label select city like this. That's also fine. You can see now it's one and the same thing. Okay. Now guys, just a little idea about this label. See, when you write your normal text, okay, let me do it here on top. Let me do it here on top so that you understand it. Now guys, please focus everyone. When you write a normal text like, enter name. Okay. So see, it looks like this, enter name. It's still a label. It's look like this, correct? Simple text. And when you also use a label tag, rather than using your normal text, you can also use a label tag here. Okay. And you can still write enter name. And if you see the output, there is no difference. Output wise, it's same, but there is a simple minor difference that we can have here. That is, now what you can do is you can connect this label and this input field together. Now guys, again, that's not mandatory. Without this label also, it's completely fine to work with forms, but just giving you an idea that now you can connect this label and input form so that they know each other. And for that, guys, you can go to this input tag and give it a ID attribute. When you give it an ID, that means I'm giving it a unique name. So guys, ID is like giving it a unique ID, which will be only for this input element. Okay. It's like giving it a second name. So let's say I call it as, name. And now in this for of label, you can pass this exact same ID. So I can just give for name. And now that label and this input are connected. So guys, ID is simply what? It's simply for giving a secondary name to that input tag. So now this input tag can be called using input, that it's one name, its main name, and ID is a secondary name that I'm giving. But the best part about IDs is it's unique. That means I cannot repeat this ID name for any other element in my HTML page. It's unique for this input now. So now this label is connected to this input field. It's good for SEO purposes so that for browsers, it's much more easier to understand. And secondly now, because they are connected, if I click on this, see, even if I click on this text, my input fields get selected because they are connected now. So even if I select the text, click on text, input fields gets highlighted. Is that clear, guys? And remember, guys, never ever repeat ID. According to W3C, it's an error. I told you, right? W3C is a body which keeps track of the standards of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So it's very important that we follow their things. And they tell you that never ever repeat the same ID for any other element. So always remember, guys. Okay. And guys, so guys, Just wanted to tell you about label. Now you can use it for any tags. I'm not doing that, but you can use it for anything. Numbers. Okay, how do you take a contact number? Now guys, see, technically in HTML, you don't have any, kind of field for contact number, because every country has a different way of, representing your contact number. So there is not a fixed way. Like email is fixed. No matter what country you are, no matter like what kind of country you are in, no matter which company is there, email format is same everywhere. But phone number formats keep changing depending on the country. That's why we don't have a specific phone number format. Is that clear to everyone? And I'll still teach you how to do that. Don't worry, how to create your own format. But before that, let me show you how to create a numeric field. A field which will only take numbers. So you can use it for age. You can use it for any kind of thing where you want numbers. Okay. So even if I see, even if I do input type tell, if you check it now, see, the reason I'm saying is now, even if I check it, see, I have this input type tell. Okay. Let me also add a placeholder here. So let's say placeholder, enter contact. So even if I check it now, you will see I'm still able to write text here. See the problem? That's what I'm saying. Input type tell, you should not use it. It's kind of deprecated now. You should not use it. Okay. So it does nothing by default. Okay. Even if you still want contact, a proper contact number, you still have to work for it. It doesn't do anything by default. Is that clear, guys? Okay. Got it? I got the idea. So for that, guys, the better approach would be to use a proper pattern, or first of all, let me show you how to take a number. So let's say enter some number, not contact, but enter some number. Now guys, you have a field called as input type number, which will only accept number. Now see, now if I try to write some text, it won't work. See, I'm typing, but it's not working. It is only allowed to put numbers in this. Okay. And secondly, guys, you also have this thing, right? See, this spinner is here, which I can click and go above or below in numbers. And guys, this is not a text field. This is a numeric field. Okay. It is taking input in form of numbers. So it also has some properties like min and max. Now guys, see, your text fields have a property like min length and max length. That means the number of characters allowed. So guys, min length, max length means the number of characters that is allowed. But your numeric fields have something called as min and max, the minimum value and the maximum value that is allowed. So if I put 10 and if I put 30, you will see now, yes, spinner will come by default, Komalpreet, yes. Now if you see, the input field becomes very small. Why? Because it knows that 30 can be adjusted in this. Now don't worry guys, by using CSS, I can again make it big. But now the browser knows that 30 is the maximum number and it can be adjusted in this small area. That's why the input field becomes small. That's by default happening. But now you can see guys, if I just try to go up, the maximum I can go is 30. I cannot go beyond that. See, even if I click, I cannot go beyond that. And minimum will be 10. I cannot go below that. So guys, min and max, but please guys understand that use it only for numeric fields. They are not for normal textual fields. So you have max length, min length. That means the number of characters that is allowed. Min and max is the highest or the lowest value, numeric value that is allowed. So if you want to see your password, we will have to icon side. Yes, but we have to write code for that, Charan Kumar. Some browsers by default give you that show password button, like Internet Explorer. I think it gives you a by default button of show password, but Chrome doesn't give you that. So if you want that, that button of show password, you have to go ahead and, create the logic. And that's very simple. It's 2 lines, but guys, that's what I'm saying. Just wait. If I get the time, I'll show you how to do that. If I get the time, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. About how to make your fields read only. So guys, it's very easy. You can go to any field and just use an attribute called as read only. If you use the read only, okay. And now see, if I go to that email field, you can see I cannot type in that because now it's a read only field. I cannot type in that. So guys, if you want to make any field, untypable, or people should be not able to change it, just use an attribute called as read only. That's all guys. Okay. Read only. And guys, that's mostly all about forms that you need. Now, I know that you guys were asking about how to check contact numbers. So I'll show you how to do that, guys. Now, as I said, in HTML, you don't have a by default way of checking contact number. So guys, for that, you can go for something like a regular expression or a pattern. So what you can do is you can go on internet and search for regular expression for India contact number. Okay, something like that. Now here, someone might have created it. You can also create it, guys. You can learn how to create something like this. But here, let's use this one. See, they have given this pattern to us. Okay. Accept all cookies. That's fine. Close this. And see, you can use this pattern now. Just copy this pattern. Okay. Copy this whole thing, this pattern. And now go in your input tag. So let's create an input field called as contact. Okay. So you can use just an input type text, guys. It's completely fine. So input type text. And now here, guys, placeholder, let's say enter contact. Okay, and let's also make it required so that the errors will be visible. And now here, guys, you can use an attribute called as pattern. Okay, now in this pattern, you can paste that expression here. And once you put that expression, now this will be used for validation. That means if you put any kind of data, that data will be matched if that data is matching this pattern. And only if that data matches this pattern, it will work. So now let's go and let's see. So now if I go on my web page and if I try putting a contact number like just this much, and if I click on submit, see, I'm getting an error. Please match the format requested. Now let's try to put a proper contact number. So let's put like something like, 7898674521. And now see, a proper 10 number phone number. I don't know what I'm saying here, but a proper 10-digit phone number. Okay. Now see, it's working. I'm not getting error for contact number. And guys, not only for contact number, you can also search for patterns. Now you can also learn how to create your own patterns. I'm not doing that right now, but maybe in some future courses, I'll teach you how to create your own patterns as well. But right now, guys, just go on and search on internet, pattern for email ID, pattern for password. Now, a lot of people are also asking, right? How to put passwords in one uppercase, one lowercase. Very easy, guys. Just search. Just search for regular expression for password. Okay. And now if you just, here we go, click on this. Now see, guys, here, see, you have this pattern now. They have given this pattern to you. So you can use this pattern. See, your current X only matches. Here we go. Assert a string has at least one number. Assert a string has at least one special character. So now, if you take this pattern, it would ask for at least one number. It would ask for at least one special character. So you can search for patterns and just copy them and use the pattern attribute and paste that pattern that you have copied in there. And that's all, guys. That's all. Is it clear? So guys, understood the pattern attribute. A lot of people are asking, right, how to do your own validation. So you can use the pattern attribute. Very simple, guys. So if you want that lowercase, uppercase, character and all that in your password, just go search for a pattern, copy that pattern, paste it in the pattern attribute, and that's all. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, so everyone got the basic idea of form. Now, I'm not telling you that you now know the whole form because there are some more fields as well, guys. There is input type color, there is input type URL, but this is all you need to create any kind of form. Guys, this is all you need to create almost 90% of the forms in this world. But now, guys, I think you can use it to learn any other thing in this form as well, because this much is enough to create any kind of form in this world. Cool. So everyone, I hope that you're clear with the base idea of form and now you're ready to use it anywhere you want. And guys, as I'm telling you that there are few more, input fields available. Normally you won't need them, but you can learn it afterwards on your own. For example, let me show you, just to give an idea. There is something called as input type color. Okay, if you use this, you can get an input field which lets you and select a color. See that? Is that clear, guys? So now here you can select a color and you can send color as a value. So that's giving you an option just giving you an option, input type color. That's all. So guys, there are a few more input fields and I want you guys to learn them on your own by practicing a little bit, because this much should be enough for creating 90% of the forms that you need. Okay, everyone.